Fox Sports.
We are sports. We are Sun.
With the Rays offense mired in a slump, All-Star Corey Dickerson stepped to the plate last night and delivered one of the biggest hits of the year. A 3-run shot in the bottom of the 8th, leading the Rays to a 4-1 victory. Tonight, the Rays look to continue the momentum with rookie right-hander Jake Faria going to the mound in Game 2 versus the Tribe. Tonight at Tropicana Field, the Rays continue this 9-game homestand. This will be Game 2 of a 4-game series against the Cleveland Indians. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to an evening of Rays baseball with Brian Anderson, Dwayne Stats. Great to have you aboard. We'll be joined by Alex Cordry in just a few moments. Well, the home run has been a big part of whatever success this club has had and will continue to have. And last night it was Corey Dickerson who's hit a few home runs against this Cleveland ball club before, including 3 in Cleveland, 1 a gargantuan shot to center field up there.
Yeah, Corey Dickerson against the Cleveland Indians, it's called make them count. I mean, 4 games against this team, he's got 5 hits, but guess what? 4 of those 5 have left the yard, and they've been big blasts for Corey Dickerson. This one here out to right field. The next one is the one you're talking about, Dwayne, straightaway center field, and this is the one that took down the rally squirrel out there in Cleveland, the top of the trees in straightaway center field. And then, of course, the walk-off last night again to center field, and you just hope that that big hit in a big spot lets this lineup relax a little bit and get after it here tonight. But Corey Dickerson has the long ball down against this club from Cleveland.
Well, the Rays pulled out a win. They are tied for the wild card spot in the American League. And tonight they will send Jake Faria to the hill against Carlos Carrasco. Carrasco has been very good here at the Trop in his career. He is 3-0 here. And as we all know, it takes a lot more than starting pitching to compete in the American League East. The bullpen, very important. Tommy Hunter having a banner year. Now is the setup guy in the Rays bullpen. Alex Cordry will have more on Hunter in a moment.
On Fox Sports Sun, and from opening day to the trade deadline, the Rays bullpen was often a hot topic of discussion. It wasn't always positive news, but recently that has changed lately thanks to veteran right-hander Tommy Hunter, who has been absolutely dominant. And since he has raised the bar, it's now time for our Coors Light Cold Hard Facts. Dating back to June 21st, 19 of Hunter's last 20 appearances have been scoreless. The righty has lowered his ERA to 1.58, ranking as the third lowest among American League relievers. And as you can see from the graphic, the 31-year-old's reliability and success this season has been a major bright spot for Tampa Bay.
Well, it means everything. You hope to have a couple of guys down there, that you can really trust late in the game. And, as evidenced by yesterday's game, him coming in the 7th inning and getting 5 big, huge outs, man on third, less than 2 outs, not allowing him to score. It just allows you to do a lot of things, with the bullpen, especially now that we have all these new pieces that we weren't able to do even 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Well, last night, the Rays reclaimed a share of the second wild card position with their 4-1 win over the Indians. The playoff race is heating up, and it's no time for the Rays to take their foot off the gas. Rays baseball coming your way next on Fox Sports Sun.
Wild card race finds the Rays tied for the second wild card spot, sharing that with Seattle. New York atop the wild card race. And so with 46 games to play, the Rays very much in the running for the postseason, and they send Jake Faria to the hill tonight against the Cleveland Indian lineup presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Francisco Lindor is going to lead it off at shortstop, followed by Austin Jackson, who plays left field tonight. Jose Ramirez at second base, hitting third in front of the DH Edwin Encarnacion. Jay Bruce coming over from the National League in the lineup in right, followed by Carlos Santana at first base. Yan Gomes will catch at seventh. Bradley Zimmer in center, the number 8 hitter. Giovanni Urshela is at third base, batting ninth.
Well, Jake Faria, 11 starts on the season. 9 of them have been quality starts, including his last time out. Unfortunately, he took the loss in that game, but against the Milwaukee Brewers, 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 9 strikeouts. And Jake Faria, one of the bright spots in this starting rotation since moving into it, has been very, very consistent with his results.
There has been a lot to like about him, not only his results, but his approach and his presence out there. And here he is, squaring off against the Cleveland Indians up in the Central Division by 3.5. First pitch is a fastball that's in there for a strike. We're underway right on time at 10 minutes past the hour. Lindor hitting .269 to start play tonight. And there's strike 2, marked out by Vic Carapazza, 38-year-old umpire, working the plate tonight. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Off speed away.
Well, that's the split change. Jake Faria, very fond of that to both righties and lefties. Likes to elevate the fastball.
Fly ball into right. Souza Jr. to his left and picks it out of the right field there. 1 away.
Oh, it set the rest of the Rays defense for you. Brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source. And in the outfield left to right, we've got Dickerson, Smith, and of course Souza Jr. across the infield third to first. Longoria, Echeverria, Miller, and Morrison with Wilson Ramos back behind the plate.
Now Jake Faria faces Austin Jackson. He started last night in center field. Which is a strike call.
That's something that Jake Faria does a really nice job of, is he doesn't get predictable on the first pitch of an at-bat. Fastball sliders to righties, fastball curveballs to the lefties.
2. A little backwards here with that slider and then the fastball, and he's ahead of Jackson 0-2.
This team has never seen Jake Faria, so those little nuances early in the game, it sends a message to the rest of that lineup.
Foul out of play.
You kind of serve notice that you're willing to do anything early on.
And from the get-go, there's a little doubt in every hitter's mind in that lineup.
Yep. And you add that onto the fact that they've never seen him, so they may have the scouting report, but I still haven't seen the ball come out of your hand. It gives an immediate edge to Jake.
Stays in. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Cleveland at the front end of an 11-game road trip. Strike 3 right there. Cut the miss on the fastball.
Invisible. I mean, Jake Faria, nothing fancy about that whatsoever. Here's a 4-seamer. Here's 92. And I'm going to put it right down the middle, thigh high. And you can see Austin Jackson with that uppercut swing, trying to lift that ball like a lot of hitters do nowadays, and you end up underneath it.
Here is Jose Ramirez, switch hitting infielder, starting at second base tonight. That's the fastball away. Ramirez was at third last night. Jason Kipnis started at second, and he's had some issues. A little tight hamstring. He left the game. 2-0 now. Line drive, and it's caught by Morrison. Leaping catch by Logan Morrison, deep at first, and it's 1-2-3. Go the Cleveland Indians. Nice grab there by Morrison. Rays coming into hit, no score. Carrasco's on the hill for the Cleveland Indians tonight. 30-year-old right-hander. Take a look at the lineup for the Rays. Presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Corey Dickerson will lead off. Will be followed by Lucas Duda, the DH, and then Evan Longoria in third. Logan Morrison, Steven Souza Jr., and Brad Miller down the middle. Wilson Ramos back in there hitting seventh in front of Malik Smith. Danny Echeverria, the number 9 hitter in short.
Now Carlos Carrasco making his 23rd start of the season and trying to turn around this little run he's had through the American League East. His last 2 starts against Boston, against the New York Yankees, and he's given up 5 earned runs in each of those starts. Took the loss in one, had a no decision and a team loss in the other. Looking to turn it around here against the Rays, of course, another team out of the American League East.
Well, when the Rays saw him in Cleveland, they had their way with him, but he's been very tough here in Tropicana Field throughout his career. And the first pitch is a fastball wide to Corey Dickerson. Well, Dickerson picked the Rays up last night in the bottom of the 8th inning with a 3-run home run to center field. It's a little tapper foul. Corey's 22nd home run of the season.
Boy, you hope that home run can go a long way. Number one, Corey Dickerson was 0 for 21 coming into that at-bat, so it's going to help him out, gives the team a win, and you hope that it just takes some of the pressure off the rest of this lineup. Finally had a big hit in a big spot.
Another look at that home run. Bradley Zimmer, the center fielder, said when he came down, he thought he actually caught the ball. And it was a close call out there, but he got it over the center field fence. And that gave the Rays ultimately a 4-1 victory. There's a fly ball into center field. Zimmer is there and makes the catch on this one.
Well, let's set that Cleveland defense for you. Brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source. And in the outfield, left to right, we've got Austin Jackson, Bradley Zimmer, and Jay Bruce. Across the infield, third to first, Giovanni Urshela, Francisco Lindor, Jose Ramirez, and Carlos Santana, with Yan Gomes back behind the plate.
Jay Bruce, a new face in this lineup for Cleveland with a big bat. Here's Lucas Duda. Lifting a fly ball into left, and Jackson is there to make the catch. A couple of fly balls here, 2 up, 2 down. And now Evan Longoria. When the Rays saw Carrasco in Cleveland in the middle of May, they scored 5 runs in 3 2/3 innings off him, and went on to eventually win that series, winning 2 out of 3 from Cleveland up there.
That was the series. 10 home runs, set a franchise record for a 3-game series.
And the Rays easily could have swept that series. In fact, they wound up losing that game when they knocked Carrasco out. They lost that game 8-7 on a home run in the bottom of the 8th by Francisco Lindor in that game. One strike to count on Longoria. 1-1.
The thing with Carrasco over the course of his season, it's feast or famine. You know, you look at his great outings, and there's a lot of them. He'll shut you down, lock you down, and pitch deep into a game. But he's also had 6 starts where he's given up at least 5 earned runs, and 3 of those have come since the All-Star break. So it's not exactly like he's on the top of his game right now, although with his stuff, he's liable to kick it into gear at any time.
Yeah, and the other side of that coin is that we made quick reference to it. He's pitched well here. He's 3-0 at the Trop with a 148 earned run average. So he's 3-3 lifetime against the Rays, and all 3 of those wins here.
Yeah, that ERA for him against the Rays back at Progressive Field is over 5.
Check swing, and the count goes to 2-2.
Very rarely do you see a swing like that. Yeah, 3-0 here, and of course he's 0-3 with a 5.09 at Progressive Field against this team. Got dominant stuff: fastball, slider, curveball, change.
And a cut and a miss. Longoria out on strikes. And 1, 2, 3 go the Rays. On to the second inning. No score. Baseball on Fox Sports Sun is brought to you by your local Ford dealers and by your local Toyota dealers. Let's go places. We're going into the second inning at the Trop. Jake Faria on the hill for the Rays tonight after his 6th win. He'll face Edwin Encarnacion, the strong designated hitter, cleanup man. First pitch is a strike. Jay Bruce will be next, and then Carlos Santana. Towering fly ball toward the line and right. Long run for Souza Jr., and he cannot hold on to it in foul territory. He was playing Encarnacion to pull, had a lot of territory to cover, and actually got there with his glove on it, could not hold it.
And you're going to see him take off, and he does have some room, but he's a long strider, good speed, the ball up there a long time, and that ball just in and out. Almost starts to overrun it, and it hits right in the heel and right out the top of that glove.
So a foul ball, and the count is 2 strikes on Encarnacion. Upstairs. All 2 strikes. Two Encarnacion 0 for 3 last night. He did draw a walk. And a cut and a miss. Well, there's that changeup against the right-handed hitter, and he'll, as you mentioned at the outset, he'll use that split both the righties and lefties.
And here's the thing, why wouldn't you? If it's a good pitch, why would you keep it from one of the hands that's going to face you? You use it a lot against lefties because you get the fading action down and away. But regardless, if it's a good pitch, and it's a very good pitch for Jake Faria, then that's something that everybody needs to take a look at, whether they like it or not.
Jay Bruce takes a pitch too high. Curveball that stayed up there and wide.
Yeah, that was something that
you know, when I was coming into the big leagues, they really discouraged left-on-left changeups. And for the longest time, they would go so far, especially if you're a young pitcher, they didn't want to see it. Didn't want to see it whatsoever. And, you know, the older you get, you're like, wait a minute, that's one of my best pitches. Why, who cares? Because the action moving down and in, they were afraid, you know, lefty swings, it's right into their wheelhouse. But the bottom line is, if it's a good pitch and it's set up well, you've got to use it against everybody. Because if not, you make it too easy on those lefties facing you. Now all of a sudden you're a fastball slider guy. And, well, my slider wasn't exactly, you know, A or B or maybe a C minus.
You're very modest.
Hey, I'll show you some film. You may give it an incomplete.
There's a fastball that just missed. Yeah, well, in progress.
It was in progress for 13 years.
Fouled away. You know, it does make a lot of sense to use all the pitches you have. But you mentioned if it's a good pitch and you can command it, and you set it up properly. And I think that's true of every pitch. That's what a pitcher wants to do with his stuff.
Yeah, and some are going to be used more than others, and I get that. But if it's a good pitch for you, you should be able to use it. Well, he used it there in Encarnacion, the two big boppers in this lineup, and then he gets Jay Bruce with it right there, moving down and away. And in the early going, Jake Faria has it all working.
Yeah, 3 strikeouts, and these 2 on the changeup, and look at that. That's a beauty.
How far off the end of that bat? 6 inches? Where you think you got a beat on it, you try to lengthen your swing, and it still is off the edge.
If you love pitching, that's an exciting pitch to watch over and over and over again. That's a thing of beauty. Here's Carlos Santana. It's just a little bit wide. Well, there's the lefty-righty split. Look at that, 169 against lefties, and that pitch you saw, the strikeout pitch to Bruce, a big reason why. 1-1. One, two, three first, 2 up, 2 down in the second. That's a strike.
Well, he's got him guessing here early. You take the fastball, okay. Well, now all of a sudden, then he rolls in a curveball. I'm not sure what he's going to do now. Got to be looking for just about anything.
He shoots the fastball wide. 2-2. Wide here.
You know, Dwayne, I've always been a fan of the high pants just below the knee. But Carlos Santana has them just above the knee, and I don't think I have ever seen pants that high. I mean, the knee's exposed.
Ground ball picked up by Morrison, and the toss to Faria. Well, it doesn't make him any faster. We go to the bottom of the second. No score.
Divisional matchup, Yankees Red Sox in the Bronx, and I'll tell you what, didn't take Hanley Ramirez and the Red Sox too long to get it started. A 2-run blast in the top of the first inning. Right now currently in the bottom of the first, and the Yankees threatening with a couple runners aboard.
You see Boston ahead of New York by 4.5 in the East. The Red Sox have won 8 in a row. You know what they're thinking? They want to put more distance between themselves and that second place spot occupied by the Yankees right now.
Yeah, and they're not too quiet about that either. Pretty open about the fact that they want to really go out and push the Yankees down. They've set up their rotation. They've got 3 lefties going. I think the next 3 series against the Yankees, Chris Sale is scheduled to pitch in each one of those. So they would like to do some damage, create some distance, and go from there.
Well, Eduardo Rodriguez pitching for the Red Sox tonight. The Yankees have a couple of men on at the bottom of the first, so we'll see how that game progresses throughout the evening. Change up here to Morrison, has him out in front, and he's down in the count. 0-2 to Carlos Carrasco. And Logan is out on strikes.
A nasty off-speed delivery there by Carrasco. Look how he rolls those fingers off to the side of the ball. Takes a little bit off of it, gets a little bit of depth. Right there in the mid-80s. And right now, both pitchers, it's early, no question about that, but very sharp here out of the gate.
You know, I always find it amazing, and of course, even 6 decisions is a small sampling, but you know, enough to get a trend, and to have them as disparate as they are for Carrasco, struggling against the Rays in his home ballpark and then dominating them here. It's an amazing thing that a pitcher who you would normally think, well, the comforts of home, familiarity and all that, he would pitch much better there, but to have it not only a little opposite, I mean total opposite for him. I want to know the count to Souza Jr. upstairs, 2-0.
You know, and the Rays, you know, it could have been when they caught him. You know, you can look at different factors that go in. You never really know, but you do know this. Even over the course of a season, his ERA is a 1.5 better on the road than it is at home, and that just goes to show you that maybe it's not so comfortable for Carlos Carrasco up at Progressive Field, at least not here in 2017.
Souza Jr. big cut at the fastball. He missed it. 2-1. Three and 1. Well, that's not only true this year, but it's true for his career. His career road ERA is 3.30. His career home ERA is 4.61.
Well, that's high. Enough body of work and enough good stuff that you're talking about 4.61, and you just wonder what that is. I mean, he has the type of stuff that should play anywhere. It should absolutely play anywhere, but you get a body of work that large.
It's tough to figure.
It really is. It really is. That's something you'd have to sit down with them, and I would venture that you would not get a straight answer anyway.
Full count. Souza lifts it into center. Zimmer looking for it and now finds it and makes the catch. 2 outs. There was just a moment there when Zimmer had that the heart rate accelerate, looking for that fly ball against the roof here.
Yeah, listen, young player, first time here. It's not out of the realm of possibility. Look at right there. Those hands tell the whole story. You have got to be locked in here every single pitch, ball off the bat. You cannot give up on it. You cannot let it go, and you cannot try and hope to find it. It'll turn out poorly for you before too long.
Brad Miller. One strike to Miller on the mid-90s fastball. One.
Was it the White Sox? Or was it the White Sox that were here that they had a hard time finding anything? Pop-ups, fly balls.
Remember when the Tigers were here?
That was it. The Tigers.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was tough to believe what we were seeing.
It was, yeah, multiple times in just about every game of the series.
And you know, some of those, well, maybe they couldn't see them, but they had trouble communicating with each other out there. Who's going to catch it? Who's going to let it drop? And both of them let it drop, and one fall behind a guy, and one be dropped by a defender. I mean, that was unbelievable. Sharply hit, but right at the shortstop Lindor. His throw dug out by Santana. 1-2-3, go the Rays. On to the third, no score.
Fox Sports Sun, and we want to thank our troops for their service. Tonight we have 30 men and women from MacDill Air Force Base in the house, and actually it was very special. Before the game tonight, their Colonel April Vogel threw out the first pitch from the 6th Air Mobility Wing. Dwayne, she threw a strike, so we hope that everyone tonight enjoys the game. Guys.
Thank you very much, and thanks to the men and women who serve our country so well, and it's a pleasure and an honor to have all of them here tonight. And it was a good first pitch. You don't want to bounce it in.
No. You cannot bounce it in. You got to get some air underneath it. She went eephus. Yep. It's all about screwing up timing, and it'll work.
Yep, that's right. Jan Gomes leads off the third, takes a strike. Fastball from Jake Faria. One. Gomes with 7 home runs for 3 last night. Bradley Zimmer next, and then the third baseman Giovanni Urshela. Up the right side, that's going to fall just out of play.
He wanted that baseball. Security said, you know what, you can't go past the large orange tub of Gatorade.
Security had a half step on him.
He did.
That's called positioning.
Muscled him right out of there.
Yep. Outside of third, foul. Routine down there. Here's after their 60th win of the year tonight. Cleveland already at 60. And this one by him. Fastball. You know, that fastball at 91 or so, and that's quick. I mean, right by him.
You know, what can you say? It's playing quicker than what the gun is reading, because he is way tardy on 91. It's not 99. 91, just a little bit of elevation. Some deception with that pitch, and these Indians hitters have yet to make the adjustment.
Bradley Zimmer. Upstairs. Zimmer hitting .263 with 8 home runs, all of that in 74 games for the Indians. Two and 0. And 1. Urshela, the third baseman, on deck. Three balls and a strike. Zimmer just 24 years old. And now a full count on the 3-1 changeup. Well, what a great pitch to have on a count like that.
Another message sent not only to Zimmer but the rest of this Indians lineup. 3-1. I'm willing to do this too. So if you think you're going to get aggressive in that count with me, I'd think twice about that. I'll tell you, he's been on.
Strike 3 call. It's him looking on the fastball.
Listen, it was all set up by the previous pitch. He pitched him backwards the last 2 pitches. 3-1 is when you're looking fastball. You get the split changeup, you swing and miss. Now 3-2, you're not sure. And he just dots a fastball. You can't even get the bat started. That's pitching. That's pitching. That's advanced pitching.
So 2 up, 2 down, 8 in a row retired by Faria. Urshela, ground ball to third. Longoria has it. Throws a strike to first and a 1-2-3 third. We're through 2 1/2. No score. The third here at the Trop. Florida Lottery jackpot stat. Carlos Carrasco, 22 starts this year, and you take a look at the first 14. 8-3 with a 2.99 ERA, and the last 8 that ERA's gone to 6.23 with a record of 2-2.
Yeah, you look at the extra base hits. 27 extra base hits in 8 starts. You're going to give up some runs. You're going to give up some crooked run innings, and that's going to lead to a higher ERA, and that's exactly what's happened with Carlos Carrasco, although here in the early going he looks to be in pretty good shape through 2.
Wilson Ramos goes after the first pitch, a fastball, and fouls it back.
And both of these guys have been mixing their pitches well. They've been getting the pitches that they're throwing into good areas.
You know, that first pitch here to Ramos, 95, 96, and very easy from Carrasco.
And out of the stretch. You know, he's another one of those starting pitchers that works exclusively out of the stretch. Loses nothing with his stuff. It makes for a more repeatable delivery, an easier fix. And right there, start him off half the time with the fastball, and then I mix very well. Between 15% and 19%, the slider, the curveball, and the changeup. Although, like I said, he'll favor the slider against righties, the curveball against lefties. It's still a nice mix.
A little piece of that one foul. Fastball away. Count holds at 0-2. Indians also an interesting club in that in the American League, if you take their overall record 60-52 and then break out their American League opponents record, they're 54-38 inside the American League, and they've struggled. They're 6-14 against the National League.
And each and every year for what, the past 13 or 14 years now, the American League handles the National League as a group. And to have those kind of struggles, this team 6-14 against the NL, you just don't believe it.
Almost tried to check, but he is out on strikes.
Although this is what I will tell you, talking to Rick Manning, the analyst for the Cleveland Indians, they played the National League West this year. When you think about the pitchers in this rotation for the Indians, Carrasco, Salazar, Kluber, the big strong-armed righties, Rick Manning said, let me tell you something right now. The National League West can hit a fastball. He said the Rockies, the Diamondbacks, the Dodgers, he said they lay waste to those mid-upper 90s fastballs that you try to elevate with. He said they tune them up pretty good.
Alex Smith puts down the bunt, picked up by Carrasco. Throw to first is in time. So Alex trying to bunt his way on here in the third. Rays were trying to squeeze home a run in the 8th inning last night, and on 2 consecutive pitches he popped them up, and the Indians could have easily had a double play on either one of those and failed to execute even one out. All of that before the home run by Corey Dickerson. There's a Danny Echeverria. Pitch. There's a strike. .247 overall this year for Echeverria. .231 since coming to the Rays. We're 2 right now.
Yeah, that ball disappeared. That might be the breaking ball of the night for Carrasco. Threw it hard, got a lot of depth with it. If you're Echeverria, you're just trying to hang on, hope for a mistake. Battle.
And he goes fastball away and strikes him out. 9 in a row retired by each pitcher here tonight. The fourth we go. You can win an opportunity to go on a shopping spree with a Rays player. The Pepsi Shop with a Player contest provides one lucky Rays fan with a Walmart gift card and the chance to spend it shopping with a Rays player. Enter the Pepsi Shop with a Player contest at enterpromo.com/splitter. We go to the fourth and the top of the order for Cleveland, Francisco Lindor. In the box, taking a look at the first pitch down for a ball. 9 in a row retired by Faria. 9 in a row retired by Carrasco to start this game. Ground ball, and it's picked up by Miller at second base. Ball on the short hop there, and some quick glove work to corral that one.
You got to make that decision. You know, we point that out an awful lot with Evan Longoria having to make those quick decisions. But for Brad Miller, you say, do I stay back and wait for this ball to come to me, or do I go play the baseball and take it on a short hop? And those are the little decisions, the feel you have for each position, who's running, how hard was the ball hit. That's what makes, I'll tell you, that's what makes.
Austin Jackson back into center. Alex Smith's going to be there on the track. Kept going back and stopping, back and a little pause, and back again onto the track. So 2 up, 2 down.
Yeah, going back to that ground ball, that's what makes the game of baseball so interesting at the youth level. When you're talking about trying to teach kids when they're old enough to understand the basic tenets of baseball. Okay, 3 outs in an inning, you got to go all the way around and touch home to score, and then you start to teach them the nuances of the game. And that's where it gets difficult, and that's why you've got to put the time in. You want to be good at this game. You'll look back at the very end and say, wow, the time that I put in playing, because of all those little nuances that are very difficult to duplicate just practicing.
Around the feet of Ramirez, it's 1-1. Yeah, anything you do, you've got to work at it, but this game, you can't take a couple days off and then be where you want to be on the 3rd or 4th day.
No. I got a chance to go back this summer, that week that I was back home, and watching my son's 10U baseball team.
Yep.
And you're sitting there and they're allowing you to help out and coach these kids. There's a teachable moment about 3 times an inning. I mean, that's just the way that it goes, because everything is different. And to learn all of that and get a feel for this game and a feel for the positions that you're playing in, I'll tell you, it is a long, arduous process that either you love it or you don't. But people that have a passion for it.
3-1 hit on the ground to Echeverria. He's throw to first, and that takes care of Ramirez. Another 1-2-3 inning. 12 up and 12 down for Jake Faria. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Still looking for a base runner in this game. To the top of the lineup for the Rays in the bottom of the 4th inning. Join us for a retro weekend when the Rays take on the Indians. Tomorrow, the first 15,000 fans get a mystery retro replica jersey presented by GTE Financial. And Sunday, kids 14 and under receive a pair of retro socks presented by Geico. Visit RaysBaseball.com now. Corey Dickerson takes a pitch, and that's wide. So first pitch out of the zone. 7 of the first 9 first pitches to the Rays hitters had been strikes. 7 of 9 first pitch strikes for Carrasco. Now 1-0 here to Dickerson. Ground ball, and it's backhanded by Ramirez. Throw back to first. So that's the first out here in the bottom of the 4th.
You can't be much better than these two guys have been here tonight. Very sharp with all their pitches. A good idea of how they want to attack these opposing lineups, and they're executing the pitches to get it done. And even we saw with Jake Free when he's fallen behind, not afraid to use the off speed to get back into it. And Carlos Carrasco just continues to show the plus stuff. That fastball up to 97 miles an hour, sharp breaking slider. Seen some good changeups from him also. Both of these guys have it rolling here tonight.
Duda fouls the fastball right back. Strike 1. That one in the upper part of the zone. Went after the first pitch in the first inning and lifted a fly ball to left. It's 1-1. Balls and a strike. Carrasco coming off a 5 2/3 inning stint and a loss to the Yankees 8-1. Gave up 5 runs, 6 hits in that one. Foul ball back to even the count at 2-2. Back-to-back tough outings against Boston and New York. Time before the New York outing against the Red Sox. 5 runs, 6 hits, and an inning and 2/3. Those 2 outings pushing his ERA over 4. It was 4.06 coming into play. Ooh. Strike 3 call. Wow.
Oh man, you talk about a buckler. Slider, backdoor, mid-80s. Starts it just off. You get Lucas Duda to give up on it, and then look at that ball just eat its way right back to the outside corner. That is just filth. That's what we talk about too. Faria's been the same way. When you've got those types of pitches and you're executing them, well, it's almost an impossible task for a hitter.
Evan Longoria. And he takes a strike. Slider to start him. That or a nice tight curveball. He throws that curveball to right-handed hitters.
Yeah, that curveball usually that slider's going to be in that mid-80 range. The curveball will be upper 70s, low 80s perhaps. But either way, they're both. Pick your poison.
Ahead of Longoria, 1-2.
Yeah, that one he kind of swept to the outside corner. That had more of a big cutter look. Kind of stayed flat but effective because it's moving away from these righties.
And a cut and a miss. So Longoria is out on strikes, and 1, 2, 3 go the Rays. On to the 5th. Nothing. I mean nothing. Baseball on Fox Sports Sun, brought to you by your Southern Chevy dealers and by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Rays and the Indians, second game of a 4-game series, and nothing so far as we go to the 5th. Edwin Encarnacion takes a first pitch strike. Poured in there by Jake Faria.
How about that body language? Encarnacion totally starting to back off the plate and just not recognizing what Jake is throwing up there right now.
1-1. How about these pitching lines right now for Carrasco and Faria through the first 4 innings? Nothing but strikeouts. 1-2. Faria 5 strikeouts. Carrasco 6. 12 up, 12 down for both starting pitchers.
In an efficient manner too. I mean, they're not wasting a whole lot of time.
Chopper down the third base side, foul.
And really, you know, you start to think, who's going to blink first? What offense is going to make an adjustment and you know, be able to threaten?
Upstairs, 2-2.
Well, be careful after the elevated fastball, the split change. That's what he got Encarnacion with in his first at bat, and he could certainly go back to it here. Not going to.
And a high fly ball back into straightaway center. Smith to the wall, and it's gone. 2-2 fastball, and Encarnacion lifts it out of here to center. And that's the first hit. First base runner, first run. 23rd home run of the year for Encarnacion.
Well, we wondered after the elevated heater, do you come back with the split change? He went with another heater, this one away. But Encarnacion, as you can see right there, has tremendous plate coverage if the ball has a little bit of elevation. You're down and away, you're okay. Up and away, you're okay. But middle away, not okay.
Jay Bruce lines one back toward the corner and right. He'll make the turn and stop. A nice play by Souza Jr. to keep it completely out of the corner and to keep Bruce at first with a single.
Yeah, you don't know how important that is. You know, you get a runner on second, get him over, get him in. It's 2 runs. Now you keep the double play in order, and this is all because of the hustle of your right fielder. Boy, for most guys, that's going to be a double, but Souza Jr., nice hustle, wheel and throw aggressively and keep Jay Bruce. He wanted to, and Souza Jr. kept him at first base.
Now the hitter is Carlos Santana. And he swings and misses the fastball. So 12 in a row retired before the home run. A single has followed. Low, stopped by Ramos. So Encarnacion gets the 7th home run allowed by Faria, and this is his 12th start. Two balls and a strike. Two one. It's outside. Santana laid off that pitch away. John Gomes, the catcher, on deck. And ball 4. Up and away. So following the home run, a single and now a walk. 2 men on with nobody out. And Jim Hickey's headed to the mound.
I was going to say, no surprise here. You got a guy in such a role, hasn't even been out of the stretch. At least with a runner on, and all of a sudden the home run and the base hit to Bruce, and then he got ahead 0-1, and 4 straight balls out of the zone.
Well, a reminder, MLB.TV Premium allows you to watch every out-of-market regular season game live and do it on over 400 supported devices. Plus, get a free subscription to At-Bat Premium. It's the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. Reading on the mound broken up. John Gomes, the catcher, will be the hitter. Gomes struck out his first time. And Bunce pops it up, and that ball drops. Now a throw to third is going to be late. Everybody is safe. Ball out of the mid of Ramos, picked up by Morrison, who turned and looked to first. Nobody covering there. And then the late throw to third, and everybody is safe.
Boy, what an unfortunate turn of events. You get the ball popped up on the bunt. You're thinking this is great. Make a play. And right here comes Wilson Ramos. He's the guy that's got the bead. A great dive, and that ball rattling around comes loose. And Logan Morrison, as you can see, this is a slider, and he gets underneath it. Oh, they're just not able to hang on. And Logan Morrison, you're thinking right here, as you're turning that way, you're thinking first. Second and third was an opportunity, but your instinct tells you to try to get the guy who bunted it.
Now here's Bradley Zimmer swinging and missing the fastball, a big cut. Well, they're going to give Gomes a base hit on the bunt.
He's going to first, nobody covering. Second, it was too late then he throws that ball to third. It would have been difficult anywhere, but just that ball rattling loose, that's what did that play in. But you cannot fault Wilson Ramos, the effort.
1 strike count on Zimmer. And he shoots it toward left center field. That ball's going to be caught by Malik Smith. Bruce tags and scores from third. The other runners hold, and it's 2-0. How about this for Zimmer, the rookie center fielder? He had been 5 for 12 this year with the bases loaded, including a home run and 4 singles. He's had that many opportunities with the bases loaded, and he hasn't been up the full year. And now he drives on a run with a sacrifice fly, caught by Smith in center. Now the #9 hitter. It's a 2-run inning. And at first and second. And that's a strike. It broke over. Two runs in, 2 men on, 1 out. Shot down to third, comes up off Longoria into left, and that hurt Longoria. A run is going to score. Santana crosses the plate. Gomes goes to third. That ball was sharply hit, and Evan trying to walk that one off, and the Rays are going to take a look at him.
You could hear the smack up here. That ball got above the glove and hit Evan right in the wrist. You could tell by his reaction, you could tell by the sound.
Ron Porterfield and Kevin Cash out there taking a look at Evan Longoria. Suddenly, the Indians have put up 3 runs. Ron Porterfield checking the left wrist. I'll tell you, the tough guy on this team, you're looking at him.
There's not even a close second. Going right up off. And you could see right there. You could see it in his face. And you're right, that what he plays through to go out there and give the Rays a complete season, a quality season each and every year. You don't find him tougher in the game today around the league.
Now first and third. A 3-run inning in the 5th. And here's Lindor, infield up. Pitch away. Started him with the soft breaking ball. Inning started on the home run. The pitch down, 2-0. Urshela driving in a run with a base hit off Longoria. The ball was smoked. And now Faria behind Lindor. That's a strike. And Faria sailing right along and retired 12 in a row. Went 2-2, and Encarnacion hit a fastball out to center. Bruce followed with a hard line drive to right for a single on a change. Then Santana walked. The bunt by Gomes misplayed into a base hit. Now 3-1 to Lindor. Zimmer then hit the sacrifice fly for the out. Urshela hit the shot down to third off Longoria's wrist. Evan trying to stay with it, actually thinking of trying to get a double play on a very hard hit ball that got him on the wrist. And ball 4. So that will reload the bases. Urshela goes to second. Gomes already at third, and Lindor on his way to first.
You know, and this is one of those growth moments for Jake Faria. You know, Jim Hickey has already used his visit to the mound, so he can't go back out there, and he somehow has to find a way to get out of this on his own. And you know, tough for a young pitcher. This inning kind of jumped up out of nowhere on him. They got to find a way to settle it down and try to keep your team in it.
There's Austin Jackson. And the pitch at the bottom of the zone, but Carapazza didn't like it. That's ball 1. Jackson hit the ball to the warning track in center in the 4th, struck out in the 1st. Big cut and a miss. Runs batted in by Encarnacion on the home run. Zimmer on the sacrifice fly. Urshela on the base hit off Longoria's left wrist. That's a strike on the corner. It's 1-2.
Perfectly placed right in. And now that pitch right there has opened up down and away, if that's where you want to go with that slider. See if he goes there. Stay tight.
Ground ball, third comes up on Evan. Down to second, out there. And the run scores. Gomes crosses the plate to make it 4-0.
Boy, I would have loved, and it's easy sitting up here, but I would have loved to have seen Faria challenge him with that slider again. He instead throws the changeup, and it gets way up and in. Evan Longoria is getting beat to pieces this inning. And that ball getting away from him there, they're only able to get that one runner out at second base.
So it's a 4-run inning. First and third, and Jose Ramirez becomes the 9th man. 0 for 2. Pitch is a strike. Up. Blocked by Ramos. It's been a 28-pitch inning. He'd made 49 through the first 4 innings combined. Ramirez hits it on the ground, and it gets beneath the glove of Miller, who tried to backhand it. 1 run is in. To third goes Jackson. Ramirez beats a throw into second. And the Indians have scored 5 times here in the 5th.
Boy, it looked like Brad Miller got there in time. The glove, I think, went past the baseball. You're going to see it right here. Gets there, and that ball either directly under the glove, almost looked like the glove went too far. It did, right off the thumb. And it gets by him into the outfield, and then Jose Ramirez in his hustle gets all the way out to second base.
Yeah, he gets a double out of that. Run batted in, a double. Jackson goes to third. Encarnacion, who opened the inning, bats again in the 5th. Pitch is outside. Now 30 pitches here and 10 hitters in the 5th. Two balls, no strikes. The Indians had nothing through 4. Not a base runner. But 10 men have come to the plate in the 5th inning. They've scored 5. High pop up. Foul ball. Ramos has it to retire the side. But the Indians send 10 men to the plate and score 5, leading 5-0. Stone opened a 5-run fifth with a home run for Cleveland. Steven Souza Jr. inviting you to join his Fantasy Football League for charity. Draft alongside Steven Souza Jr. and his teammates at Tropicana Field August 18th for bragging rights and prizes. Visit bigleagueimpact.org to sign up. Logan Morrison leading off here in the bottom of the 5th. Morrison struck out on a breaking ball in the 2nd inning. Rays still looking for their first hit. That's how the Cleveland Ball Club opened the 5th. Neither team had a base runner until that 5-run 5th for Cleveland. Now Morrison up with a 1-1 count. Souza Jr. to be followed by Brad Miller, with Logan Morrison leading off. It's 2-2. Rays facing Carlos Carrasco, 30-year-old right-hander out of Venezuela. He was 11-8 last year in 25 starts. The year before, 14-12 in 30 starts. And in the 2015 season, his personal best, over 183 innings. Ground ball, backhanded, and Lindor's throw to first is in time. He was already on that side of the bag. So the Cleveland shortstop handles Morrison's ground ball.
Well, everything from Carrasco away to Logan Morrison, and gets him to pound one into the ground, and Lindor's there to make the play.
Steven Souza Jr. 0 for 1 with a fly ball to center. Way wide. The Rays have had a tough time through the last few years with this Cleveland team. Coming into tonight's game, they were 3-1. They won 2 out of 3 from the Indians in Cleveland. Won last night 4-1 to open this 4-game series. And with that, they moved into a tie with Seattle for the 2nd wild card spot. Two and 1. Brad Miller on deck. Souza trying to check, could not. It's 2-2.
It's another one of those examples, falling behind in the count, and you come up with that slider, and right there is when Souza recognizes, and by then it's just a little bit too late. And now Carrasco has set himself up for anything. He can come back that pitch again, try to duplicate it. He can run the heater up.
And we have a full count.
Took that one a little too far off the plate. Souza Jr. now has got a chance to get something out over the plate and see what the Rays can muster up here as far as an answer goes to that 5-run top half.
And Souza Jr. draws the walk. The Rays get their first base runner. Comes one out in the 5th. Well, you got to start somewhere. The Rays have a base runner with Brad Miller about to step in. First pitch, a strike to Miller. So 2. You know, the Rays are still looking for that sustained winning streak. The Indians come in the Central Division, first place by 3.5. They had a 9-game winning streak to close out July. The longest winning streak the Rays have had this year's 4. Red Sox right now working on an 8-game winning streak. Miller out on strikes. The curveball, 2 gone. And it seems that when you eliminate teams having just runaway years, Dodgers in the National League, Houston in the American League, and all those other teams vying for position when it comes to the wild card and maybe sneaking a division title, they're all looking to try to put together a prolonged streak to kind of separate themselves from the rest of the pack. A little tap by Ramos, charged at third. Urshela has a lot of time and makes the play to retire Ramos. On the chop, Rays leave a man on the walk. They trail 5-0. Carlos Carrasco on the hill for Cleveland tonight, and the Rays have nothing save for the 1-out walk in the 5th inning. Well, he's piled up 7 strikeouts.
Everything sharp, and he has been very good with that slider to both sides of the plate, and obviously the good fastball. Encarnacion gets a 2-strike delivery there on a fastball, takes it out of the yard, and then the Indians would go to work. This ball getting by Miller out there at second base. Jose Ramirez towards the end of that inning turned that into a double, and Indians were able to play 5 runs after both pitchers perfect through 4. A quick 5 spot by the Indians in the top of the 5th.
Trevor Plouffe in the game, replacing Evan Longoria, who took that shot off the wrist in the 5-run 5th inning. So Plouffe is now at third. Jay Bruce leads off. The pitch is outside. Jake Faria out there after the long 5th inning. 33 pitches in that inning. There's a liner and a base hit into center field. Bruce is aboard to open the 6th. 6 hits now for Cleveland. They've all come within the last 11 hitters. Now Carlos Santana. Santana takes the fastball. It's 1-0. Faria in the first 4 innings faced 12 men. No hits, no runs, 49 pitches. In the 5th inning alone, he faced 10 men, gave up 5 hits, 5 runs, 32 pitches in that inning. No, 2 balls, no strikes. Moves well off third base with the shift on. Santana hitting from the left side. It's fouled back, 2-1.
Well, you go back and look at that top of the 5th inning, and the fastball to Encarnacion, you know, he had struck him out on a split change first at bat. Went with a 1-2 fastball up to get to 2-2, didn't go after it, came back with another fastball middle away, and that's right into the swing path of Encarnacion. And then, you know, a pitch out over to Bruce, walk Santana, the bunt that got out of the glove of Ramos. Things really started to snowball, and now you can see Jake Faria trying to really pick at the strike zone, not attacking like he did the first 4 innings, now trying to feel around the zone, and he's put himself into some tough counts.
Here's ball 4. So that'll push Bruce up to second base. Difficult to pitch defensively. And that's one thing the Rays came out of last night's performance from Blake Snell, thinking that he attacked the zone more than they'd seen him in the past. So that was a step in the right direction.
No question. I mean, he really, you know, he kept the quick pace, something that he had done a few starts ago. A better pace on the mound, more fastballs. Saw him pitch to both sides of the plate more than we normally do. And, you know, he really set the tone with that fastball. I think that he saw himself the results of that pitch, and how that sets the table for all of his off speed that we've said. When he can command the fastball consistently, and then you go to the slider, the curveball, the changeup. His changeup was very good last night to the right-handed hitters. He's got a chance to put together some special outings, and last night was certainly a step in that direction.
Strike the count on Yan Gomes. 2 on with nobody out. 2. Alvarado's up in the bullpen. Faria up at 90 pitches now, and the hard throwing lefty loosens up the right field side. Oh, 2 on Gomes. Strike 3 called. Upper part of the zone. Gomes caught looking, and that's the first out.
You don't anticipate the breaking ball up in the zone, and that's where Yan Gomes got it. You can see the target there for Ramos wants that pitch down and away, and all of a sudden you leave one up, and it surprises a hitter sometimes.
There's Bradley Zimmer. Drove in a run in the 5th inning with a fly ball. Officially 0 for 1. First pitch is outside. Ray saw Zimmer when he was called up during that series in Cleveland in May. This one is wide.
Have you gotten the opportunity to see this kid run? And hopefully it doesn't happen anytime during the course of this series on a highlight reel. But this kid, for being as tall, he's 6'4", 6'5".
Yep.
And can absolutely fly. I'll tell you, he can cover some ground. Running the bases in the outfield.
Yeah, he gets on base, he can run. He's 13 out of 14 stealing bases. Popper back a third. Shallow left, and Plouffe out there to make the catch. And that's the second out of the inning. So 2 outs, 2 men on. Giovanni Urshela 1 for 2. Takes a big cut and misses. He hit the ball hard in the 5th inning. That ricocheted off the wrist of Evan Longoria.
That didn't sound right. That ball was smashed, and it just had a bad sound. And you can see by Evan's reaction, it caught him flush.
1 ball, 1 strike. Plouffe in there at third now. Here's a look. Evan.
I mean, that ball was ripped. And you get the glove there, and it comes up on you, and it hits you square in the wrist. And this right here, that tells you all you need to know. Tough guy down there at third base, and you get that kind of reaction. You know that thing hurts.
Yeah, he doesn't give you that very often. He's just not going to give into it. Stayed in the game, finished out the inning, and now Plouffe's at third.
He took another shot that inning on a ball that was hit hard.
Yeah, played it off his chest. This is foul. Ball, 2 strikes. Well, he prides himself in playing every game possible. And sometimes that's overlooked. The guy shows up every day and plays, and he plays beaten up. Stayed in the game there. You have to respect that. One ball, 2 strikes. Strike 3 call. That will retire the side. 2 strikeouts in the inning. 2 left, and we go to the bottom of the 6th. 5-0 Cleveland.
Well, some good news for pitcher Jake Odorizzi. It looks like it is all systems go for his start on Monday in Toronto. After taking a comebacker off of his right foot on Wednesday, he threw a bullpen session today to test out his right foot and ankle, and he said it felt good. Now he just wants to focus on getting back into a groove. And also some positive news for Rays center fielder Kevin Kiermaier. He'll go on a rehab assignment in Port Charlotte this weekend, and he'll DH for the Stone Crabs. Kevin Cash says they want to give him his at-bats and get Kiermaier timed up at the plate. Dwayne, BA.
All right, thank you very much for the updates. The Rays trying to get those guys healthy. First pitch here to Malik Smith. There's a strike, net on the heels of Matt Andriese feeling pretty good about his bullpen session the other day, and he's scheduled to begin a rehab assignment, I think, Sunday in Port Charlotte. Now 0-2 to Malik Smith. Matt Andriese.
Hey, you forget how effective and how important he was to this starting rotation.
That's right.
He was just quietly so solid every time he took the mound.
Tapper at third base. Urshela up with it, and a throw to first in time. Malik Smith is the first out here in the sixth.
Back-to-back plays here. Close out the bottom of the fifth and the first play top of the sixth. Urshela showing that ability to charge, throw on the run with some zip on the ball and an accurate arm. There at third base.
That'll be a Danny Echeverria. So far, the only base runner for the Rays. Steven Souza Jr.'s one-out walk in the fifth. Carrasco misses with the fastball wide, so Carrasco continues the string of outstanding work here at the Trop, coming in 3-0 with a 148 earned run average. It's a Tapper foul. 1-1.
Well, this, you know, I got asked earlier today, well, what do you expect out of Carlos Carrasco in tonight's game? So we really don't know. But I will tell you this, I think that you're going to get a determined Carrasco because of his last two starts. And then you combine that with what you were talking about, his string of success here at Tropicana Field. You knew that you were going to get a guy who's locked in, wants to turn some things around that haven't gone his way last two starts in a building that he's had great success in.
The numbers here are ridiculous. Right now, 29 2/3 innings, 12 hits, 32 strikeouts, and 5 walks.
Yeah, well, I mean, domination, all caps. I mean, that's what that is. More than a strikeout per.
Up the right side toward the line, and Jay Bruce is there to catch it. 2 gone.
Well, you talk about having a guy positioned perfectly. Echeverria reaching out there as a right-hander. You're laying that ball right on the right field line, and Jay Bruce kind of gliding over there to take that away from him pretty easily. There's that ball away. Look at him kind of sweep that swing. You're thinking, okay, man, extra bases. Here we go. Look at Jay Bruce, right? Hanging right over there. And just glides over and makes that play.
It's Corey Dickerson. Corey 0 for 2 tonight, 0 for 8 in his career against Carrasco. This one a little low. 1 ball, no strikes. High fly ball, center field. Zimmer trying to track it. Now he finds it and makes the catch, and he had trouble again, but managed to find it and catch it. And we're through 6. Rays without a hit, trailing 5-0. Coast Honda dealers. 5-0 Cleveland leading as we move into the late stages of this game. Korea will depart this game after 6 innings with 6 hits allowed, 5 runs. Walked 3, struck out 7. Carrasco, 6 innings, just 1 walk, no hits allowed, no runs, and 7 strikeouts. And the Rays will bring on the left-hander Alvarado. Jose Alvarado.
Well, on for the 25th time. He's got 19 strikeouts in 20 2/3 innings. No question about the stuff of Alvarado. A fastball that's going to approach triple digits every time he lets it go. A tremendous slider. It's all about being able to command it in and out of the zone where he wants it. When he does that, well, we've seen what he's capable of. Wasn't too long ago he threw that immaculate inning, the fastball, the slider.
Yeah, we have 2 pitchers in the game now who have both thrown immaculate innings this year. Carrasco did that against Detroit earlier. And Alvarado impressed with his immaculate inning. 3 up, 3 down, 9 pitches, 3 strikeouts. And a base hit by Lindor. He hustles his way and makes a big turn at first, but hangs on there with a single. So he greets Alvarado with a hit.
Well, you're just sitting for that fastball. Francisco Lindor wastes no time. He gets it, and he's able to get out and around it and pop this thing right by Trevor Plouffe. Makes an attempt there, just comes up a little bit short. That ball was hit very hard. And third base tonight is a danger area.
Austin Jackson takes the pitch for a ball. Runner goes. The pitch is a ball, and there's no throw. Big jump by Lindor, who steals his 8th base of the year. Now 8 out of 9 in that department.
Yeah, against the lefty, you're going to go on first movement. You get the leg kick there by Alvarado, the good jump by Lindor, and there was just no chance. Not even a throw.
Fouled away, 2-1. Last appearance for Alvarado was Tuesday on the 8th in the Boston series. He was on in relief of Austin Pruitt in that 2-0 Boston win. He pitched a third of an inning and gave up a hit. Two-1 to Jackson. Fouls it back. Fastball at 97, right down the middle with that heat. 2-2.
It's the one thing that overpowering stuff allows you to do. It gives you a little bit more margin for error for pitches that you leave on the part of the strike zone you really don't want to. Oh,
And a cut and a miss. Then you get that.
Yeah, he starts it in the same exact spot. And then that ball just rips towards the back ankle. Look at him spin this thing. Swing starts, can't get there. Almost took the glove off of Wilson Ramos. That's how much velocity he's able to get even on the slider.
Jose Ramirez in the box. He fouls that one back at 99. Turn, nothing doing back at second. Lindor covering up out there just in case one of those 98 throws to second was headed his way. Two. You know, we're talking about that the other night when Rick Porcello had that immaculate inning in the Boston series against the Rays. Now here goes a runner to third. A little chop to third. That's going to kick foul and stay that way. And as of that immaculate inning, I think our research indicated that there have been 88 in the history of the game. There have been 8 this year. Alvarado had his, Porcello had his against the Rays. Those are the last 2 of a string of 8. Two strikes the count on Ramirez. And he is out on strikes. He did go. Well, you got to be ready for the fastball and anything else. Hard to check his swing, and he could not on that one. Second strikeout for Alvarado. El Dorado invites you to settle in with us tomorrow when the Rays take on the Indians. Our coverage begins at 5:30 right here on Fox Sports Sun. Mike Clevenger on the hill for Cleveland. Chris Archer for the Rays. Edwin Encarnacion takes a strike.
It's a throwback game. Throwback unis.
Yep.
Going back to the 70s, Wayne.
Okay. We'll look forward to that. And those uniforms will be auctioned online for charity, benefiting the Rays Foundation. 1 ball, 1 strike. A chance to pick up one of those throwback jerseys and contribute to a good cause all at the same time. Too low. 2-1. Well, a base hit, stolen base. A couple of strikeouts since then of Jackson and Ramirez. Lindor is the runner. And it's a 2-1 count on Edwin Encarnacion. Now 3 balls and a strike. Let's check in with Alex quickly. Alex?
Dwayne, the Rays clubhouse is reporting Evan Longoria has a left thumb contusion, but good news is that x-rays came back negative, guys.
Yeah, that's thank you for that report, and good news. (3-1) and a liner going to be caught by Echeverria, who grabs it and hangs on to it in the webbing of the glove. Bottom of the 7th coming. 5-0 Cleveland. Well, let's flash back for just a moment to July 1st, 2015, when Carlos Carrasco was in a similar situation, a little deeper in the game, but Joey Butler denied him a no-hit attempt, 8 2/3 of 1-hit, 1-run baseball. He struck out 13 and walked 2. And as we mentioned at the outset, he's been dominant here at Tropicana Field in his career. 1.48 ERA with a 3-0 record here. And tonight, no runs, no hits, just 1 walk through 6 innings. And here's Lucas Duda taking a strike. Duda, the DH, is 0 for 2. Called out on strikes in the 4th inning. It's 1-1. Trevor Plouffe will be next. The spot vacated by Longoria, and then Logan Morrison. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I'll tell you what, that changeup from Carrasco, he has such quick arm action with it. And it's very, very deceptive, as you can see right there on that swing by Duda.
It's down, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Of that one. Well, the deepest Carrasco has pitched into a game this year, no complete games. Early in April, the end of April, he pitched 8 innings against the White Sox in Chicago and 8 against the Mariners in a game in Cleveland. 106 pitches in each one of those games. There's a foul ball out of play, and his high pitch count came in that game against Detroit on the 1st of July, when he pitched 7 innings and left leading 4-1 and made 114 pitches in that game. One other game he made 113 pitches. His pitch counts through 6 tonight was 67. Fly ball lifted into left. Jackson is there and he makes the catch. Duda is the first out. So 1 out into the 7th inning, and now Trevor Plouffe will make his first plate appearance. You look at Plouffe, 5 of 17 in his career, facing him a lot when he was with the Twins.
Let's hope that familiarity gets something going here for the Rays.
Strike 1.
I'll tell you, that pitch has been dirty tonight. You know, he's used it away to the righties. Obviously, we saw him get Lucas Duda to fly out on it in the previous at bat. Backdoor to the lefties. The fastball velocity has been good, as well as the command. The changeup's been on point.
And that'll be a strike as well, and he's quickly ahead of Plouffe, 0-2.
Just in complete control. That's all. And you know, as a hitter, you're just up there to battle. Try to find a pitch, get that one mistake out over the plate. He hasn't made too many of those.
And a cut and a miss. He makes quick work of Plouffe. Strikeout on 3 pitches. That's number 8 on the evening.
Well, you named the pitch, and it's been sharp for Carrasco. That ball down and away to Evan. The breaking ball there to Logan Morrison. Another one sweeping off the plate to Ramos. Echeverria victimized by the heater. That backdoor breaking ball to Duda. Another slider. I'll tell you, he has had it all going. And then from 3 straight breaking balls to Trevor Plouffe, and that one perfectly located on the corner down in the zone. Another punchy.
The ground ball fouled outside of first, down toward the bullpen for a strike. Carrasco retired the first 13 to face him before he walked Souza Jr. And nothing since then. That walk came 1 out into the 5th inning. It's wide, 1-1. 7 in a row since the walk. And only 1 base runner. That's close. 2-1 in that game. He referenced Joey Butler broke it up. He was a strike away from a no-hitter in that one. Lost the perfect game bid in the 7th inning. And there's a liner, base hit into right field. And Morrison has the first hit of the night given up by Carrasco. It comes 2 outs in the 7th. So the no-hit bid ends with 2 outs in the 7th. As the Rays finally get a hit and pick up their 2nd base runner.
Tried to backdoor that breaking ball, and Morrison just went out and got it. That was not a poorly located pitch by any stretch. Morrison just covers the plate and rips it into right.
Steven Souza Jr. Fouls it back, a fastball in on him. Well, Morrison, who had 3 hits last night, has broken up the no-hit bid. 2 outs into the 7th. .95 wide there for a ball. 1-1. Foul ball takes it to a ball. 2 strikes. Dan Jennings up in the bullpen. Well, in contrast to last night when the Rays had hits in every inning, they just picked up their first hit here in the 7th, and there's a wild pitch moving Morrison up to 2nd base and taking the count to 2-2 on Souza Jr.
Just yanks this slider. One of the few uncompetitive pitches that Carrasco has thrown here tonight. Gets off the hip of Gomes. Rays have a chance to turn that 2-out hit into a 2-out run. Try to get back into some range. You got to figure here with Carrasco's pitch count at 85. If they can extend him just a little bit longer, he may not be around to try to complete this game. You can get into the bullpen. And first things first, drive this run in.
2-2. He did not go, and the count is full. Bill Cousy a little business to rule on that down at first base.
Been a dull night down there for him.
Yeah, no close plays.
No.
Nothing controversial. So you get a check swing right there.
Feeling pretty good about himself right now, and he should.
Yeah, got it right.
Yes, he did.
It's the main thing.
Got good hair too.
And a foul ball right at the feet of Gomes. We'll see another 3-2 pitch. Carrasco continues to love pitching on the road, and especially here at the Trop. And there's ball 4. With 2 outs, a couple base runners for the Rays. Well, you never know, and I'll tell you, a long one here, and it gets interesting in a hurry. Brad Miller is 0 for 2 tonight, but came into this game 3 for 5 lifetime against Carrasco. So you never know. Ground out and a strikeout in this game. Takes a strike down around the knees.
You get the feeling that Carrasco, you know, if he's smart here, he's going to force Brad Miller. If he's going to beat him that way, he's going to be to center, over to left, the big part of the field. And we know that Brad Miller does have that kind of juice.
There's a fly ball down the left field line. That ball is a foul ball. He had home run distance on it, but just foul. You get that low wall, and that ball sliced just foul. And boy, would that have been something. Exactly what we were talking about, and Carrasco has reason to smile.
Come on. I mean, that took off a layer of paint. If they, well, actually, look at it this way. Maybe if they would have repainted them in the offseason, that's a home run. One extra layer.
That's right, another coat of paint.
Another coat.
Just need another coat of paint, guys.
Goodness, that was close. That was as close as you're going to get without it having at least nicked that fair pole.
So it's a 2-strike count on Brad Miller. And he got a little piece of that one and stays alive.
Tell you what, if I felt confident in my fastball command tonight, I don't think we're going to see this by any stretch. But if I'm Carrasco, and I would have done it that pitch, forget that breaking ball right there. But after he leaned out and almost took me down the left field line, up and in, a show pitch.
Yep.
I mean, if you want to swing at it, that's great, but it's not going to be near the strike zone, but it's going to be up and in. Change your eye level and bring it close to you, and then go back to work, because he got way too good of a swing on that second pitch.
Fouls this one away. See another 2-strike pitch. Morrison second, Souza Jr. at first. 2 outs, 0-2 count. And a cut and a miss. Miller out on strikes. And the Rays lead 2. A near miss down the left field line. We're at the end of 7, 5-0 Cleveland. Limited baseball break brought to you by T-Mobile. Joey Gallo heating up with that 8-game hitting streak and 7 home runs to give him a 32 on the year. He's chasing Aaron Judge, who sits at 35, and a big blow to the Mariners, placing James Paxton on the DL. They had already sent Felix Hernandez with the shoulder issues. Also David Phelps, and now Paxton goes to the DL. The Rays, who started the day tied with Seattle for that second wild card spot with identical records of 59 and 57. And that's not a good development for Seattle pitching right there. Now the Rays continue to trail in this game 5-0. Dan Jennings takes over. Alvarado worked 1 inning, gave up 1 hit, picked up 2 strikeouts. And now Jennings on to face Jay Bruce. It's low. Jennings got credit for an inning in the Wednesday game against Boston. Faria 6 tonight. Alvarado 1, and now Jennings. Jay Bruce making his first start with the Indians, 2 for 3 with a run scored tonight. It's a strike, and it's 2-1. Bruce had hit 29 home runs with the Mets. Hitting .256 in the National League. Broken bat roller. Echeverria on the first base side of second makes the play. And that is the first out in the 8th. Tomorrow on Rays Live, the pregame shows presented by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. Chris Archer will do the pitching for the Rays. We'll hear from him, and Orestes will analyze the Rays bullpen. And it's a varied bullpen now with a lot of different looks and a lot of different options out there.
Dan Jennings being one of them. Steve Cishek, who's been great for the Rays since coming over. Sergio Romo gives you a different look. Brad Boxberger, fastball changeup. Of course, you've got Tommy Hunter. We've talked an awful lot about him just overpowering people right now. Colomé. I mean, right down the list you go, and it gives Kevin Cash some options, and I'm sure that at this point of the season he feels pretty good about being able to keep a game close, being able to hold a lead.
Santana skies the 0-1 pitch to right for Souza Jr. Well, and that's been the trick lately, to score enough runs to get a lead.
Yeah.
To match up with the bullpen, because the Rays certainly have all kinds of great options there, and it's one of the things that makes this game so frustrating. Normally you can count on, if your pitching's good, it's usually going to be there, and if your defense is good, it's usually going to be there, with exceptions once in a while. Hitting, even good hitting, comes and goes, and the Rays in one of those stretches where it has been a battle to score runs of any kind, any amount.
It's been tough because I think we're seeing here now how reliant the Rays have been on the long ball. And when the long ball, it dries up a little bit, it's been difficult for them to try to piece together innings, even so far as Kevin Cash talking about that walk-off home run that Souza Jr. hit in the weekend series. Yep. He said, listen, I knew we're going to win this game, but it's going to take a long ball. We were not going to be able to piece together an inning. We hadn't done that in a couple of ball games, and so he figured we're going to win this game, but it's going to take a home run, and that's exactly what it took.
Yeah, and even last night, and I think Kevin would admit some of his comments in the aftermath of last night, Rays trying to force the issue, trying to bunt twice with that squeeze play.
Yeah.
Twice, one right after another. Just trying to get it done. And they were fortunate the Indians couldn't execute because they had 2 double plays looking them right in the face and got nothing out of it. And then the Rays eventually won it on the home run. But that's where they are, and trying to manufacture runs, and it's difficult. I think a lot of clubs are that way now because they're relying on the home run. You know, we've talked about how much of an offense it has been for the Rays, the walk and the strikeout and the home run, and there are a lot of teams like that now. It makes it difficult when you get to a situation like this to manufacture runs, and that's exactly what Kevin was trying to do, calling that squeeze on consecutive pitches. A little unorthodox, yes, but under the circumstances, if you're going to do it, you can certainly understand that. And Kevin knew he might take criticism for that. He said that in the paper this morning. Fully aware. It took guts to do that. I appreciate what he tried to do there. Pitch is wide. So Gomes goes to first. Zimmer fouling one away, strike 1. Zimmer drove in a run with a fly ball in the 5th. Officially 0 for 2. Ray saw him when he came up. He struck out 3 times in that game. The next day, hit a double and a home run. 1-1 the count. Jennings working the 8th. Walk Gomes with 2 gone. Trying to get the left-handed bat of Bradley Zimmer. And now it's 2-1 on him.
Trying to get these guys to chase down there below the zone. Man, Jennings, he's got the the breaking ball that sweeps. We saw the sinker. That good sinker to Bruce got in and cracked the bat. Not afraid to pitch in against these lefties.
2-2 the count.
Think about the fastball. He'll use it in and out to lefties, sweep the breaking ball away, tries to keep it down. He's got a deceptive delivery in the sense that he comes set, and then all of a sudden there's some herky jerky, some quick sudden movements before he delivers that ball to the plate.
Foul the other way toward the Cleveland dugout. Ball game in the 8th. Rays with a couple chances left. The only scoring in this game took place in the 5th, and the Indians did it in a big way, sending 10 men to the plate, scoring 5 times. Leadoff home run by Encarnacion started all that. Now the count is full. Urshela on deck. And a full count. Gomes on the move, and the pitch is ball 4. Jennings upset with himself with back-to-back 2-out walks to the 7 and 8 hitters.
And with Zimmer being a lefty and him having the jump in the count, that will raise the ire of Dan Jennings. Don't like to let those slip away.
Urshela, the hitter. He has an RBI single. Hit the shot to third. Got Longoria in the wrist area. Later scored a run in the inning. play. Rays trailing this one 5-0, top of the 8th. Jennings trying to get the final out. It is ahead 0-2. Boston leading the Yankees in New York through 6, 3-0 in that game. Angels and the Mariners play later in Seattle. Fly ball back into center. Smith is there waiting. Cleveland out in the 8th. Rays will have Wilson Ramos to lead it off, down 5-0. Into the bottom of the 8th, or Toyota inside look. And on this homestand, it has not been all that pleasant. 7 games, 8 runs, 2 for 33 with runners in scoring position. Boy, it's amazing. The Rays are 2-4 through the first 6 of this one. I'm thinking with numbers like that, fortunate to have a couple wins.
Amen. No doubt about it. And you know that this offense is obviously capable of a lot more than that. And you just wonder how much of it is collective slumps. I mean, obviously all of it is. But what is the basis of the slump? Is it a mechanical deal with the swing, with your setup, the approach? Is it mental? Is it, you start to put so much pressure on yourself to be the guy to get that big hit? That's why you were hoping that home run by Dickerson last night would kind of let the rest of this lineup just take a collective sigh of relief. Hey, someone got a big hit in a big spot. Let's relax and let's go out there and get things rolling. And that hasn't been the case. Big reason why is the guy out on the mound tonight. He's been great.
6 2/3 of no-hit baseball before Morrison lined the single into right to break it up. The ground ball deep short. Lindor takes his time and makes a good, accurate throw to first. Ramos 0 for 3 tonight. How about this for Carrasco? He's faced 25 hitters, 18 of 25 first pitch strikes. He's been on his game, as he has so often here at Tropicana Field when he comes to visit. He's the kind of visitor you'd like to have leave early. Yeah, we're going to go to bed. You should leave now.
need to learn to stop inviting it.
Yeah, that's the key. Yeah, keep them out of your house.
The people that I, well, maybe not so much anymore, but the people that I had grown close to, they learned that lesson. I get invited to nothing anymore, and it's probably for the best. I can't say that I blame them.
Peaceful for you, peaceful for them.
Yep.
You haven't been to my house in a long time.
That one time, and things got a little sideways, and ever since then, you're always busy on those off days. Lots of things going on, Jeep, refrigerator, ice maker, all this stuff.
Little tap to the right side by Smith, and he is safe. He got in there head first and got a hand on the bag. Santana tried to make a diving tag and could not come up with the out. And Malik Smith has the second hit of the night for the Rays.
This is the only time that you should dive into first base. And you talk about you know guys as they head in, and Malik Smith just makes himself small. He gives Santana very little area to try to tag. And dives in there. Let's see. We get that left hand to the bag. Here comes the glove. Ooh. Hopefully they don't take a look at that. That hand looked like it was just off the plate when that glove came down.
Yeah, no real reason to look at that. So another pitch and everything will be fine.
Yeah, boy, oh boy. I mean, the video room in Cleveland is empty.
It's Echeverria now. Alex Smith over at first. Fouls it back, strike one.
Boy, you're so used to seeing anything close challenged, and that one looked pretty cut front. I mean, that glove looked like it got to the leg of Malik's while the hand was still clearly off the bag. And you're just so used, knee-jerk, looking down at that dugout, waiting for the challenge, and it doesn't come. So turn it into something.
Foul out of play. Two. Take another look.
Watch when the glove gets to the leg of Malik's, where the hand is. Tag, hand's not quite there. That would have been at least worth a look. Right there. Oh, he's out.
Yeah.
He's out. That's right there's the view.
Yeah, and it would have to be conclusive.
Oh, that was
clear and convincing, and I think both those shots meet that criteria.
No doubt.
High pop right side near the line. Bruce on the run is there and makes the catch. Echeverria fouls out down the right side. Two gone.
Number 10, Corey Dickerson.
It's Corey Dickerson. Corey 0 for 3 tonight. Turned out to strike the winning blow in last night's game. The 3-run home run in the 8th to break a 1-1 tie. Misses the fastball. Strike one. Well, it's been all Carlos Carrasco tonight. He's ahead of Dickerson. 2-strike count now. Holmes got part of this.
And that backswing right here. Who did Corey get here recently on a backswing?
Yeah.
And ended up going on the disabled list the next day with the concussion list.
That was that Gaddis in Houston?
And there was.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Pitch is down. Now a ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, he stayed in that game and finished it out, and then the next day started having issues.
Yes, he did. Dickerson checked. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Lucas Duda on deck. Ball in the dirt, down to first, and the Rays are out in the 8th inning. A man left on base. On to the 9th we go. Carlos Carrasco tonight. 8 innings, and that strikeout of Dickerson, his 10th of the night.
Well, that line pretty much says it all. That 2 hits could actually be 1. Carlos Carrasco, we saw it early. Started the ball game out with 4 perfect. It was Jake Faria and Carlos Carrasco going back and forth. The fastball, good velocity. The slider has been on point. He has used that very successfully to both sides of the plate. That one right there, Logan Morrison able to go out and get and line it into right field. The first hit for the Rays, and slider right back to work on Brad Miller right there. And Carlos Carrasco just continues to throw up great outings here at Tropicana Field.
Brett Boxberger will be the 4th pitcher of the night. Faria worked 6. Retired the first 12 he faced and ran into a 5-run 10-man 5th inning. It's the only inning we've seen any scoring. And now Boxberger against the top of the order. Lindor throws a first pitch strike. Lindor has walked and singled in his last 2 plate appearances. And lifts a high pop fly short left for Dickerson. And he makes the catch. 1 away. Rays pitchers strike out 10 hitters during a home game. Visit CanesStrikeout.com and obtain a printed home voucher to take to any Canes furniture store within 7 days and receive a coupon for a free Whopper sandwich combo meal from Burger King. Austin Jackson. Ground ball right back to Boxberger. And the toss to Morrison in time. So 3 pitches and 2 outs.
Pretty good ratio.
Take it all night long.
Second baseman,
Jose Ramirez. Ramirez doubled in a run in that 5th inning, 1 for 4, 1 strike to count on him here. Oh, 2. Boxberger pitched an inning Wednesday against Boston.
He's another guy coming out of this bullpen that'll give you a different look, and we've seen, you know, him able to get that fastball in big spots up into the mid-90s, go with a changeup that will be anywhere from 12 to 15 mile-an-hour difference, and that's huge. You know, in this day and age of all the stuff, you'll see guys fastballs at 94, 95, and the changeups at 88, 89. Not much of a difference. Sometimes 90. But you see right here what Boxberger's able to do, 15 mile-an-hour difference. That's a difference in velocity that hitters just aren't used to covering.
The ball holds the count. And 1-2. It's interesting how that works because they help each other because they're different from each other. You run a guy in for an inning, another guy with a different look for an inning, and another guy with a different look for the following inning. Makes everybody better.
You know what, really over the last few seasons, and you think about the Yankees, what they've been able to do, with the back end, the three-headed monster when you had Miller, Matanzas, and Chapman, and things like that. But think about how successful the Baltimore bullpen has been, all because of a lot of different looks.
Yep. Morrison with a race to the bag, and he wins it, beating Ramirez in. Now 1-2-3-9 for Boxberger. On to the bottom half, 5-0 Cleveland. Left-hander Tyler Olson. Get a $6 value for $5 when you ask for a grouper from the Florida Lottery. With so many life-changing prizes, get your group ready. The Florida Lottery, it's your ticket, claim it. Must be 18 or older to play. Play responsibly. 8 innings for Carlos Carrasco. And boy, were they good. Coming up on Rays Live, the postgame, Rich and Orestes will break down Carrasco's success here at Tropicana Field. We'll hear from Kevin Cash and Alex Cordray presenting interviews from the clubhouse. Lucas Duda swings through the first pitch, a fastball at 89.
Tyler Olson, 8th appearance. 7 punch-outs, 5 1/3, 1 walk.
And the lone lefty in the Indians bullpen.
And with Andrew Miller being sidelined.
Two. Rays have Duda, left-handed hitter, then Plouffe, and Morrison, the lefty swinger, to follow. Foul, that's out of play. Olsen had been at Columbus. One and two, and that takes care of Duda. Well, one out in the ninth inning. Well, our bonefish plays of the game in the fifth inning. Edwin Encarnacion opened with a home run, and then it went downhill from there.
Boy, it certainly did. And Urshela hits that laser beam off the thumb of Evan Longoria. There's another shot that got into that body, able to get the force play there. And then Jose Ramirez, that ground ball, and Brad Miller ranging into the hole. That glove actually went a little bit too far. Ball got underneath him, turned into a double, and the Indians just poured it on seemingly out of nowhere. You had two guys with a perfect game through 4 innings, and then in the 5th inning, that's it. That's where the Indians got all their runs.
There's a base hit by Plouffe into left, and in his second at bat, he comes up with a base hit. Third hit for the Rays. Now will be Logan Morrison. Boy, just imagine what it would be, and how different it would be had that ball that Miller hit in the 7th inning been just a fraction of an inch toward the foul ball.
The whole dynamic of the game changes.
Yep, it's 5-3 all of a sudden.
That's right.
Morrison takes the ball. He broke up the no-hit bid, 2 outs into the 7th inning. Lined a base hit into right. One of 2 hits allowed by Carrasco. And it's 1-1. The Rays down to their final 2 outs here after winning last night 4-1. They're down 5-0 tonight, with Archer and Clevenger due to pitch tomorrow night. Pruitt and Kluber on Sunday. High fly ball to right. Bruce is there. Now 2 gone. We'll be with you at 5:30 tomorrow on Fox Sports Sun. Our coverage begins of Game 3 of the series. Archer's after his 9th win, and Clevenger comes in 5-4. Steven Souza Jr. on twice. Rays have drawn 2 walks, and he has both of them. Officially 0 for 1. Takes a strike. Now 1-1. Yeah, what a difference the 5th inning make. You eliminate that, the Indians have no runs, 2 hits, and the Rays have no runs, 3 hits. One ball, 2 strikes. Indians sent 10 men to the plate in the 5th. Scored 5 runs, 5 hits. low. 2-2. Go in line for his 11th win. It would be his 8th on the road this year. He's about to go to 8-2 on the road. Strike 3 call. This one is over. 2 strikeouts in the 9th for Olson. Indians win it 5-0. Rays strand 5. Carrasco the winner, 11-5. Faria the loser, 5-3. For Ron Anderson and Alex Cordry, Dwayne Stats. Hope you've enjoyed the telecast. If not the outcome, Rays Live, the postgame comes your way next. Presented by WB Mason.